Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball. It's baseball season, baby. Games are live tomorrow. We're giving you the picks. We're telling you what's going to happen this year. Sorry for ruining the season. Let's talk ball. Bubba Chandler.
Cam Smith.
Oh, the kids. Oh, the youth is going to save us. Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball. It's the night before baseball and all through the house. I am Jake Storielli. That is Trevor Plouffe. Rob Scirocco producing his butt off. Baseball's here, Trev. Some days it feels like it was nothing. There's times when it feels like it's been years without baseball. Today of March 26th, March 27th, we'll be live streaming on the JM Baseball channel. 3 p.m. till, I think they're set till 10. Jesus. So, yeah, baseball's here. Get excited. And Coach Trev, who kind of, your fingerprints are all over this company, that league.
Everything. Just
the
everything.
Prospects. Kyle Gibson. Everything. How are you, Big Daddy?
I'm doing great. I'm very excited for opening day. You know, I did some predictions yesterday with Chris Rose on Baseball Today, and it got me like in the mind frame for the season. And what you realize when you do predictions is that nobody really knows. Like lots of things happen in this season. Somebody overperforms, somebody underperforms, somebody gets hurt. Some prospects are good, some prospects are slapdicks. I love Blake Snell. Well, not Blake Snell. That's what he said. But here's what I have to do tomorrow. How about this? Okay, opening day. I'm a big baseball guy. Do some shows about baseball. Kind of have to follow the game, right? Tomorrow, Thursday, on opening day, I'll be getting deposed. I have a deposition to do. I'll be like with some lawyers all day long. How about that? How about that for timing?
My God. All right. Didn't think that.
And it's with the baseball team. Like, what is going on?
We'll let Trev dive into that at the end if we want. Baseball's
Simulation
here.
is in full effect, Jake.
Baseball's back. Coach, we're going to go through, we're going to give our picks. We gave our real picks, the dinero picks last episode. But the division winners, wild card, we're going to lay it out. Trev, you still have, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I mean, that 2021 prediction still lives in people's heads. It was it's a seminal moment for the company and the show that you perfectly predicted the World Series. Was it Braves over Astros in 6?
Yes. Yeah.
And then, Rob, I wish I remembered this. You'll need to find a clip from that episode because it is the end of the season. We made it. It's the end of 2021. There was the lockout. There was COVID. And Trev is with our guy, Nameless Jeff.
Oh, yeah.
Making quite the scene in the back of your home.
We had the party. We had a big party that night. That was fun. Me, Nameless Chef, Kyle, and Olivia was present as well. Good times.
Well, get ready.
Let's just say there was a baseball bat rolled up.
It was on screen, Bob. Let's get into it because I also think there's a little bit of recapping we need to do. We finished the TPPs, all 30. I know we already gave ourselves some snaps and some nice hugs in the Jersey City warehouse where we recorded last. But, a lot's changed since then. As we were recording, some guys were still signing with teams. And we've also gotten to see the spring training injury bug happen. Both New York teams got a lot of that. Every team got a little bit. That kind of walk through that and also see where it lands for our division winners, wild cards. I think a little bit of NL and how just crazy that league is going to be again. Let's get into it with Best Western, and that's where you guys should be getting into this baseball season. I'm going to be in one in about a week. The one outside of Wrigley. It's gorgeous. Best Western Hotel and Resorts. Life's a trip, so why not make the most of it? 4,000 hotels worldwide. Best Western is there for every detour, destination, and unexpected turn along the way. Whether you're hitting the road, traveling for work, or chasing the next big game, there's a room awaiting for you. Yeah, this is, I guess, double reminder. Me and Jolly Olive and Rob, we're going to be at Wrigley, the DraftKings Sportsbook and Casino. We're staying at the Best Western. It's kind of a dream trip. If you're watching on YouTube, you just saw the frustration come over Trev's face. So I will see you there. I'll see you at the Best Western. One lucky fan gets to stay with me. No, we're not doing that anymore. That was early days of John Boy Media. But there's a Best Western wherever you are looking to stay. So go stay there. Make a lasting memory. Take the scenic route. Life's a trip. Make the most of it at bestwestern.com. Yeah, Trev?
You're something else. I am sad I'm missing that. It's my cousin's wedding on Friday the 4th, so I cannot be there. I got a lot of things holding me back from baseball.
Depositions, weddings. You sound like me.
Honestly, I don't know if I'm allowed to say I'm getting deposed or not, but I am, and it's by a Major League Baseball team. So
all right. And we're back.
Might have to blur that out. I don't know. I don't know the laws.
What do you got there, Rob? I got Trev's.
What was I drinking?
Some good wine. Oh! Come on, Dandy!
That's so good, man. Shout out my friends for coming over. I was just gonna watch it in my house by myself. I didn't want to do some crazy thing. And then they were like, "We got to come over, bro." And they brought champagne. We had In-N-Out. Olivia went and got In-N-Out for us. It was a magical night. Yeah.
Well, we've got about 7 months leading up to that magical night again. Rob, I don't want to send you on too much of a trip, but also the episode we recorded that night, there was a baseball bat bleezy. Anyways, Trev, we just did all 30 teams. I guess after doing them, I told you this before, and I've been telling our listeners, and if they missed it, I'm sorry. It's funny when you're doing some of the tough teams like Rockies, Marlins. It's just not going to click this year. I hope that Rockies young core figures something out, and Bendix has a plan in Miami. But we start getting into some of the different teams and the different tiers. And I remember the Nationals, and I was like, "Oh, I like a lot of their young guys." And then I was like, "Well, actually, I don't know." And hey, they're still a team that at least they're in the area. We could be wrong if Cruz and Wood are guys and the whole thing. But I guess coming out of the 30 TPPs, is there anything that's really changed in your mind?
I feel like we always catch the optimistic bug. At least this year we did. It's spring training. You can. It's really hard for me, at least, to get in there and be like, this guy's going to stink. This guy's not going to be good. I can't really get into that mindset too much. So maybe we are. I think when we do this, we actually don't try to do anything. We just go and we do our research and we have our sheet and we say, okay, this is what we think of this team. We're not really going into it with any preconceived notion, but it's optimism season, when we're doing this. So I think that's the biggest thing. I took 21 of 30 overs. You took 20 of 30 overs. And I believe they even this is what I read because I was thinking about this the other day. They actually add more wins than are possible to these over-unders. So we are...
Right. Well,
it's not like they all add up to the perfect number. They don't do that in betting. So it's interesting to see because now we have to decide, okay, for instance, I picked the over for every single team in the AL Central.
Right.
I'm a believer.
The powerhouse division.
But now we have to figure out exactly, okay, great. Who is going to be in the playoffs? There's only 6 teams per league. And I think when we get to the National League, maybe that's the thing I realize most is the National League is absolutely stacked. And there's going to be some teams, joining me in Chileno Bay or El Dorado when the season's over, and they're going to be watching these playoffs, and they're going to be sad. These are going to be good teams that are going to be sad watching the playoffs. So that's kind of what I took away from our TVPs, the strength of the National League. Did you change your mind on anything?
The strength of the NL is wild, and I still think there's going to be more to talk about on that. No, I guess it's a double-edged sword because we come into the TPPs, and there's a few free agents still out there. There's a couple pitchers, couple hitters, Santander, Bregman, etc. That, okay, we could spin that as like, yeah, I think, Bregman for the Red Sox. We already like them. And, dude, I caught myself watching the Red Sox versus Monterey game the other night, so that shows where I'm at with baseball. I think I'm ready. Their young guys look really good. I kind of had that oh fuck moment. I was like, wait, these aren't prospects. These are dude prospects. Anyways, I think the bigger thing is injuries. Mookie Betts, I mentioned his illness. That's going to be one of the wild things to watch early on in the season. Seemed like a guy that didn't have 23 pounds to lose.
No.
And yeah, I've been laughing.
150, coach.
Because like I said, I feel like there's going to be a story in a couple weeks that's like Mookie's playing the best defense at shortstop because he lost the weight or something like that. And we're going to be like, God damn it.
He looks like
Dodgers.
Cesar Asturias out there. Just Rafael for calling the ball around.
Everyone knows this one's on me. Shane McClanahan. Left tricep tightness. Yeah, they said they might have dodged the bullet there, but he will start the season on the IL, so let's see what goes on with Sugar Shane, which I don't know if he likes being called that. Gunnar Henderson, intercostal strain. Grayson Rodriguez, starting with some elbow inflammation, so, that's another one we've talked about that, like, he's big for them. Our guy Jorge Mateo trying to bake it back. Jared Jones is hurt 6 weeks without throwing. So that's like, he's still, even if that's as clear as possible, he's still got to build himself up. Like,
it hurts our Pirates over.
It's the whole part. I'm flipped. Ranger Suarez is starting the season on the IL. He's going to need more time than to come back as early as possible. That's fine. Matt Strom working his way back. He might be ready for opening day. Okay. Our guy, Vinny, he's not sure if he's going to be in opening day. Jordan Montgomery, how about that bomb? Tough, man. That he's getting Tommy John, his second. Ginkel and Graveman in the bullpen out for them. Corey Seager, we'll see. He got scratched, but they're thinking he's going to be there. Same with Josh Young. So, again, that's a perfect example for me. Corey Seager, who's had
Corey Seager.
So he got scratched with a sore calf, and they're saying it's not a serious issue. That, let's say it's not, but this is a perfect example. The Texas Rangers, who have a little bit of juice coming into this year, coming out of spring training, Seager and Josh Young, stiff neck, Viagra stuck in his neck.
He's all neck,
right? It's a lot of neck. We've talked about it from the start. The left side of their infield, two guys that can be all-stars. Like, are we going to be talking about this in a week, or is it over? Sean Murphy from the Braves has been resumed to start swinging from his cracked rib. Yankees, I'm just going to skip that because it's a lot. George Kirby's been shut down. So he reportedly played catch on March 21st. So, again, what's that going to mean? Marlins, Athletics, Zach Geloff, come on, buddy. Casas, Giolito, Yoshida, and Bayo for the Red Sox. So as I'm sitting here bitching and moaning about the Yanks, like those guys all have some stuff going on. The Tigers have gotten the bug. Parker Meadows, Wenzel Perez, Matt Vierling, Alex Cobb, Scherzer, Varsho, and Manoah all have things. Christian Walker is dealing with an oblique. It looks like he's going to be ready for opening day. Lance McCullers trying to work his way back. Darvish, Waldron, Brito, Brooks Lee, Brock Stewart, Royce Lewis. I'm just screaming names at this point, so I'll stop. Tobias Myers, Bryce Terang, Brandon Woodruff working his way back. So that whole exercise was just to show you, man, injuries play a big part in this, and maybe we're just licking our wounds because we picked a lot of overs, but some of these good teams we're about to talk about are going to get blindsided, and that's just what happens some baseball seasons. So, with all of that, let's get into our picks and predictions for this 2025 season, and it's all brought to you by Corona. Grab one right now. Grab one all day tomorrow, because baseball is back, and there's nothing better than having a few Coronas and enjoying the ride together. From the moment we all bail on work to enjoy opening day. Yep. Oh, we're also I'm just twisting the knife on Trev at this point, but me and Rob, we're going to be at Cubs home opening day. That's a special thing. You better
get a Corona.
Twist. Oh, there's going to be a couple. There's going to be a lot of Coronas. You can have them opening day, the final day, wherever you are. The cheap seats, a private island, wherever the official cerveza of Major League Baseball is there for you. Ice cold Corona. Crack open one. Squeeze in a lime and enjoy America's favorite pastime with Mexico's favorite pastime. Present time, excuse me. Get yours at ordercorona.com. 21 plus. Enjoy responsibly. Corona Extra Beer imported by Crown Import, Chicago, Illinois. Coach, we do this a lot. AL or NL, Big Poppy?
Let's go with the AL.
Yeah, okay. It's cleaner.
Let's get this out of the way.
Why don't you start in the East? I've been talking way too much so far, so you could.
You have.
Yeah.
People are sick of your voice. The AL East, I think, is an interesting division. I think there are some good teams here. The people that have listened to this show know that I've been talking about one team in particular for a while, and it's kind of become like a trendy pick, which scares me a little bit. But I have the Boston Red Sox winning the AL East. I think that, as you mentioned, some of the young guys have come up and they've been the answer. They've been above average, everyday major leaguers, which allowed them to be cost controlled and allowed them to go and get out and get Garrett Crochet and Alex Bregman. There's more on the way. I just think they have in that division the least amount of question marks with their team. If they can stay healthy, I think that I think they're the team to beat right now in that division. I'm going Boston Red Sox. I just think that they can do so many different things on the baseball field. I'm curious to see how the Devers situation plays out. I think he's going to DH. Does he ever get time at third base? Like, why would you? I'm assuming he will get some. Like, you have to. But that's one thing to monitor. Like, does he like it? Does it affect his game at all? Obviously, he's a big part of their offense. But to me, it's like a non-story. Christian Campbell breaking with the team is awesome. So now we got Bregman at third, Story at short, Christian Campbell at second, Tristan Casas at first, Rafael Devers at DH. I just think that they have a squad, man. So I've been on them for a long time. I'm going to predict them to win the AL East.
I can see why. I think even without Bregman, even before Buehler, like when they brought in Garrett Crochet, we were all kind of like, hey, the Sox might be here, huh? And yeah, seeing those prospects and the fact that, hey, if one of the three of them is a dude, that is massive for Boston. And they all have the look that, you rarely go 3 for 3 on any sort of prospect. That's just not how this works, whether it's injury or something at the next level gets them. But there is something to a true rookie breaking camp with the team. And I think at the end of this episode, you're going to see the Christian Campbell announcement later, because it was pretty cool, pretty unique how they did it. Trev, a couple things that have bothered me with Boston, and this is quick, so I'll kick it back to you. Second base has been a hole for them for a little bit. It's just kind of been like, what are we doing over there? And it's like, hey, instead of that, here's a top 10 prospect in the game. Like,
they love that guy.
They love him.
Yeah.
And then the other thing was the ace. They brought in Garrett Crochet, has stud of all stud and Boston and everything embodied there. Those are massive changes.
Garrett Crochet, spring training numbers, 15 and 2/3 innings pitched. He struck out 30 people.
So he's ready. He's ready.
He's ready.
And
one run.
The other shower. Okay, so Vincible. The other shower thought for me today was like, Jarren Duran had a 9-WAR season last year. Not many guys have done that in baseball history. Like, even if he's an every year 6-WAR guy, Devers, Bregman, the Red Sox are set up really well. They do have their own injury bug that the bullpen, I think, is going to be interesting. Hendricks Hendricks like bowed out of the closer convo because his velo's not there. So it's Aroldis Chapman coming out of camp that Boston will be ready to turn on him quickly. It also is very Alex Cora and Aroldis Chapman to come in and have 2 insane months off the rip. Like Cora being like, hey, how many times has the world wanted you to fail, Chappie? You could go out and win the crowd. It could go the other way, obviously, so can any bullpen. But the Red Sox are set up that Trev, you were on it when it was still a hot take for the Red Sox to win the division. It's not anymore.
It's not a hot take anymore. Is that your pick as well?
I'm not taking them. I'm not.
You just talked about like you were.
Well, Trev, if I'm being 100%, I'm a Yankee fan. When I do Talkin baseball, I announce when I have a Yankee fan thought and try to get in front of it. If I'm about to say that guy on the Red Sox sucks, or I love this guy and I love Oswaldo Cabrera, that's not talking baseball, Jake. Like, I've seen the baseball card. I hope he's a guy, but I've seen a lot of baseball too. Knowing the Yankees' injuries, I'm not taking them. I'm doing this as a little bit of Braves in the NL East. I'm taking the Baltimore Orioles. It seemed like a lot went wrong for them last year, and they still won a lot of baseball games. Let me bring it up because I'm blanking right now. The Orioles won 91 last year. And every time we talked about the Orioles, it was kind of like, they don't have the juice this year. Rushman's struggling. Jackson Holiday, I don't know. I know Santander went nuts and Corbin Burns, obviously, but this is another team that thinks they can find pitching. I'm glad they tweaked the fence. Not that that matters at all. But I think Adley's going to bounce back. I think he's a dude in this game. I think another couple of their young guys are going to click. And Felix Bautista on the back end, man, that changes the whole tone of games. The Orioles were special because every inning was, hey, we're going to bring up 3 kids to the plate, and 2 of them are hot, and we might score a couple runs. That if we get that lead on you, we shut it down at the end. Last year didn't have that. It was kind of like, hey, we can bring these Orioles to 9 innings. And if we do, we got to shout off Craig or whoever's back there. That's gone this year. I think they're going to be coming back to being a really good regular season team. They're still going to have some postseason stuff that I think the Orioles are going to run this year.
I can see it happening. There's no doubt about it. I questioned the starting rotation. They brought in Gibby, and that was after we did our TPP. I took the under on them in the TPP, and I think that I'm ready to be proved wrong. I think that they're, we call them the baby birds. That's over. Like, they're not the baby birds anymore. These guys are all, have a couple seasons under their belts.
There's one. I like Holiday still kind of looks.
He still is. But and there's a couple guys you could say that about. But I think the biggest thing to me is that rotation, and they kind of, they added depth with Gibby, so I like that. The Grayson Rodriguez stuff, he needs to be there and needs to be a guy. For some reason, I just can't get past kind of the starters. There's no clear cut ace there.
Starters
and
are
people
out.
Can call Grayson Rodriguez that, and maybe he'll turn into it. Maybe he's shown flashes of it, but I don't think you can anoint him that just yet. And so, yeah, I can see it happening, but I'm definitely more on the Red Sox side of this. I'd probably go Red Sox, Rays, I think, before I would go Orioles.
Really?
Which is going to might come back to bite me when we talk about wild card teams at the end of this.
Yeah. Wow. I think that's I was going to say one of the tougher ones. Actually, all the divisions are lining up except the NL West. AL Central.
This one's very tough for me.
This is your division.
Yeah, because, obviously I am a little biased with the Twins. I do know the roster, and I do actually I do believe in their roster. I think it has the least amount of holes, and I think if guys are healthy, they have some players on that team. Nobody gives them credit for that because they just kind of stunk during the playoffs. There's this, I don't know, man. Minnesota nice needs to go away. We need to be Minnesota badass, dude. So, Like, if I'm being honest, I have no idea who's going to win this division. That's the truth.
That's everyone's truth. This is our biggest guess.
The Guardians are going to be good. The Royals have one of the best players in baseball, a top 3 player in baseball. He's probably number 3. He goes Shohei, Judge, Bobby Witt Jr. And plus they have more of a squad than people give them credit for. The Tigers, I think, maybe top heavy in a little bit of everything there, like lineup, rotation. Bullpen's been very good for them. And then, I guess I mentioned everybody there. My pick, besides the White Sox, my pick to win the Central, I'm going to stick with my Twins.
Okay.
And I do believe that. I do believe that. I think that their starting pitching and their bullpen, like, they're starting to get a little bit of credit for both of those. I'd consider them. I was talking to some Twins guys yesterday. I do a Twins podcast, and I said, "What is this team's identity?" Like, I guess it has to be like the pitching, but like I still don't think. See, I don't think the Twins necessarily have an ace. I think Pablo Lopez, Joe Ryan, and Bailey Ober are like really good pitchers, but I don't consider any of them like an ace. So we'll see how that turns out. But I do think top to bottom, there's the least amount of question marks with the Minnesota Twins. So I'll go Twins.
Ty France got the first base gig, huh?
They like him. He's going to play like every day.
Dude, he's an MLB guy. He's just in that weird window of you kind of think you know what the ceiling is, that sometimes prospects get more exciting. No, there's a post-Twins thing that's going to be very interesting. And Trev, I guess, honestly, my biggest fear for them is injury. Like that rotation, although they've become pretty good at pitching throughout. But Wallner, Correa, Buxton, off the rip, I've seen these guys deal with injuries, but when they're out on the baseball field,
Royce Lewis is already dealing with an injury.
Royce Lewis, I know. Good for you. Be loud, be proud. This one, like you said, you teed it up perfectly. There's 4 teams I think you could give a great argument for, and there's 4 teams you could give a great argument against. I'm going to ride the Royals wave. I like the way they're doing it. They call up guys. They add where they can for a smaller medium market team. I really like their bullpen, which I think that's going to play all season long. And Bobby Witt, man, I think we'll do some MVP stuff at the end, but if Judge didn't exist, this guy would be the AL MVP favorite, and they roll that out in this division every year. I love India. I love Pasquantino. Does Massey have more? And I think they can throw the hell out of the ball every day. I'll stop because, again, I could give I give you the Tigers, I give you the Guards, I could give you your Twins. Then I'll ride the Royals wave. Let's run it back, baby.
I mean, last year 3 AL Central teams made the playoffs, and you can talk about them having to play the White Sox and how bad the White Sox were, so they got those victories. So I mean, that definitely factors in. There's no doubt about it. But I don't think this is like a laughing stock of the division like some people have it in their mind. Like, there's some really good baseball. I'd probably go like just blind rankings. Like, everyone is so close. I'd go Twins, Tigers, Royals, Guardians. And the Guardians are like, fuck you, dude. Like,
right.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Get ready to see them in first place on June 1st. Like, that's just how
Kyle
it works.
Manzardo is going to like hit 40 homers this year, and just okay. No third deck.
What about, let's finish up with the AL West, man, which this one, I think it's a three-headed monster of.
You're not including the A's, huh?
Well, please, Trev, why don't you go?
I'm not picking the A's to win the division. The Athletics.
Yes.
I think for me, I think it's more of a 2-teamer. I don't know. I think this might be the year that we're not talking about Houston, which is crazy. And maybe I'm just like thinking about Jose, like Joe's McFly. He texted me. He's like, "Why is Jose Altuve playing left field?" I didn't have a great answer for him. I'm like, "Well, the defensive metrics."
Yes.
I'm like, wait a minute. Why are we messing with this guy, this Hall of Famer, who like just put him at second base? He looks crazy out there. He's like, Pop, think about Jose Altuve next to that big wall out there. He's gonna look so small. I'm like, yeah, he is.
In there.
I think I'm gonna go Mariners here.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go Mariners. Yeah. I took the over on them and the Rangers in our TPPs. The Rangers, here's the thing. I think the Rangers could win this division easily if everyone stays healthy and Jacob deGrom gives them 22 starts. Okay. Like they have that kind of talent on that roster. But I think the Mariners, man, I think it's got to happen at some point. Like they have to go out there, win that division. They just signed Cal Raleigh to a massive deal. Congratulations, Big Dumper. That's really nice. But the pitching's too good, and they just got to figure out, like, Randy Arozarena, go do it, man. Like, go lead that team offensively. Like, be the guy that you can be. God, that's a difficult one for me. I'm gonna go Mariners. I'm gonna stick with it. But I think the Rangers are right there behind them.
Those three, man. Will the Mariners ever happen? And I think Mariners fans are asking that too.
That's kind of where I'm at. Like, it has to happen at some point.
It's like if it's not this year, we start looking at the years left on those pitchers and stuff. It goes to a scary place for Mariners fans, and I think they're being open and honest about that too. Man, I'll tell you what, Houston has had me thinking the last couple of days because it's Houston. The top of that lineup will be Altuve, Paredes, Yordan, Christian Walker, Yainer Diaz. Cam Smith making the team.
Know. Cam Smith is an X factor to the max, bro.
The first time you talked about Cam Smith, you were like, this kid. And I was like, shoot, if Trevor, I don't know. When you talk about a kid, you normally get pretty excited. I like the fact they traded for Kyle Tucker, and we're like, wow, Cubs, you did it. You 1 year Kyle Tucker. Yeah. And then it's like, wait, Hayden Wesneski's in the rotation. Paredes, 30 homers. I would take the over on it this year playing there.
You're convincing me now.
And then Cam
I don't
Smith,
love my Mariners pick.
That Astros organization, they're just never out. Their bullpen looks gross. With all that being said, I am going Texas. I think people have heard that in my voice. I have the Mariners 3 still. I need to see it. I love what they've got going on, man. I think like Jake Berger listed in their 8-hole. I love Jock Peterson. Wyatt Langford, I think, is going to be like the breakout guy of this year, like for a full year. The rotation, I'll tell you what. There's some excitement to Jack Leiter and Kumar Rocker breaking camp. There's also like okay, let's see, fellas. The bullpen is horrifying. That I don't know. I just love the lineup. I think they had their World Series hangover again. Bochy telling the guys, let's run it back one more time. I think they're gonna have the best lineup in baseball. I'm in on the Texas Rangers.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, Corey Seager, calf, he just announced that he's pregnant, him and his wife, so now we know he injured his calf.
Oh.
That's not.
Put in that word. You're not that guy.
I think this is another difficult division. I'll stick with my Mariners. You kind of convinced me on the Astros there. Like, if Cam Smith is who like people think he is, that I like their depth on that team. I didn't realize how much I kind of like their bench as well and their starting pitching. Do you know what? Like, Framber had a freaking year last year. Nobody remembers that.
Every year.
Shoot, dude. I'll be cool. I'll be a Mariners guy this year.
You're cool.
I'm cool.
You're cool. You're a Mariners guy.
So what I said about the Houston Astros, I actually took the under, but I said I don't believe that.
Right. Yeah, we've got a couple of those.
So I'll stick with the Mariners. Don't love it. How about that?
Let's, Trev, because we did talk.
Can you friggin' show up in April? It may.
Trev, I guess that's the other thing in my head is, okay, even if they get out to a hot start, they did that last year.
And then they fell on their face really quickly. The fastest ever to lose a 10-game lead in their division.
This year's different.
Julio.
Edgar Martinez. Rowdy Tellez. Rowdy Tellez.
Rowdy's in the lineup.
Trev, we did every division, so let's keep wild card a little tighter. I'll actually do it for myself because my Yankee fans are probably a little panicked right now. I have them in the wild card. I do. I think they can obviously win the division still. Talk about injury bug, which I said controls a lot of this. They're already seeing it. And, Carlos Carrasco, Will Warren in the rotation. The lineup, I think, is going to land in a good place, but there's going to be some growing pains. I think the Yankees are still really good. I have them in the wild card. I have the Red Sox in the wild card. I think they are very good.
Okay. What's the other team? You have 3 AL East teams in the playoffs, and who are you going to leave out?
I'm taking Houston. I currently have the Mariners and the rest of the Central out, which I know is going to bite me, but
yeah, this is very difficult.
Yeah,
I thought the AL was going to be easy because the NL is going to be a very difficult. Okay, people, I don't hate the Yankees. I don't hate.
Here we go.
I don't have them in the playoffs this year. I don't. For my 3 wild card teams, I'm going to go the Tampa Bay Rays.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Me and my brother Jeff Passan. Jeff Passan wants them. He wanted to pick them as his AL East champion.
Right.
So me and brother Jeff are in lockstep there. I will go with the Kansas City Royals sneaking in there. And then I will go with the Texas Rangers also. So I'm going to go 2 from each division.
So you have Houston and the Yankees out.
I do.
Okay. Man.
I don't really believe in the Houston thing. I actually do believe in the Yankees thing.
There's an argument if the Yankees weren't named the Yankees. I think they get knocked for being the Yankees equally for this team coming off the World Series loss and losing Soto. I think if this team wasn't named the Yankees, I think if this team was named the Blue Jays or the Diamondbacks, we'd be like, this team's pretty good. But I don't think
they're going to suck.
It's not your father's Bronx Bombers. And I'm also on the record, like, go look at every Yankees World Series team, and the lineup is like, my God. It's like Nick Swisher 9. It's Scott Brocious 9. It's Cano, and these Yankees aren't that team. So, let's see. I still think they're going to be good. Let's go to the National League, Coach. Hey, I'll do this one for you. Let's just check the West bucket. I'm sorry, everyone looks great. We'll talk about you when it comes to wild card, but the Dodgers are winning the West.
The Dodgers are winning the West. Congratulations. Not a Dodger hat, by the way.
Oh, what is that?
I got a haircut, too.
What hat is that?
St. Paul Saints.
St. Paul Saints. Nice. I saw the TP in there, and I was like, what is Trevor?
Custom.
Trevor Plouffe Storielli? I don't know.
Yeah, congratulations to the Dodgers in the West. They already have a 2-game lead.
Yeah.
I guess a 1-game lead.
Yeah, they're having a great year. Then let's go West East. Let's do the NL Central. And I'll let you perform.
So I got to get it up. Okay. I took the over for the Cubs, the Reds, the Brewers, the Pirates. Took the under on the Cardinals. This is going to be a difficult one. I want to reward the Cubs for like going out and like doing it. Obviously, the Brewers have their way of doing things. It's been very fruitful for them over the last couple seasons. With that being said, God, I almost want to take the Reds. I'm going to take the Chicago Cubs. I'm going to take the Cubs. I want them to succeed. I want this to go well for them. I want Kyle Tucker to go out there and absolutely ball. They are 0-2 right now, which is tough.
That's fine.
Tough to start the
That's
season.
fine.
We're not thinking about that at all. But I'll take the Cubs. I think they've obviously addressed areas of need here. And the Kyle Tucker thing is a game changer for them. I think they have depth. They have a little bit of everything, speed, power. I'm in on them. Go look at their outfield. Like we talked about this during the TVPs. I think it's one of the things that we realize is they might have the best outfield in baseball when it's let's just say it's PCA, Kyle Tucker, and Ian Happ. Like, that's going to be so fun. Like, ain't nothing falling but raindrops, baby, right? Like, they can go get it out there. Kyle Tucker's going to hose you from right field. I'm in on him. I'm in on the Cubs. And it's not going to be because of Craig Counsell.
We'll see. Maybe it will be manager of the year.
Maybe it will be.
Kyle Tucker. I've been out of the fantasy baseball game for a while because I used to be addicted in high school. I ended up in a draft last night, and seeing where Kyle Tucker is, it is a reminder. And stolen bases are huge in fantasy, but it's like
who's number? It's got to be Shohei number one.
Shohei, Judge, Witt, but then like Kyle Tucker's in the mix, Soto's in the mix, and it's just a reminder. Sometimes we hype Kyle Tucker, and I'm like, are we going too far with it? And no, he can be a different level of special, and I do believe in that for the Cubbies. Fool me once, shame on you. I'm going with the Brew Crew, man. I just think they have figured out baseball a different way. And sure, losing Willie stinks. Are they going to get are they going to get peak Brandon Woodruff back at some point this season? Right now they have a rotation, which they haven't had that. They have a rotation with a couple injuries. Like DL Hall is hurt again. Tobias Myers, Woodruff's working his way back. That I feel like they have the horses, which normally that's one of the worries. The bullpen is going to be electric. And I don't know. Every time I dig into one of these young guys' stats, I'm like, Bryce Terang had a really good year. Garrett Mitchell, when you look around at center fielders, this guy's been hurt a lot, but when he's played, he's been really good. And Churio, the lists he ended up on with 20-year-olds that performed like he did, I think they were. This is a bad stat, but it was like 16 guys have done what he's done as a 20-year-old. 7 of them are in the Hall of Fame. 1 of them's A-Rod, and the other 4 guys are active. It's like Machado, Trout, Tatis, and it's what he did at his age is very special. And it's the Brewers. They're always there.
I'm into it. I think the Brewers could easily take this division and be like, oh, that's right. That makes sense. 94 games, they won. Here we go. Going back to the Cubs, I think, like I said, the bullpen got addressed big time, which I think is really good. Presley, Eli Morgan, who's the guy from the Dodgers? Brazier went over there. My guy Caleb Thielbar's there. So they addressed so many areas of need that I just want to give them credit. I want them to win the division.
Hey, and other NL Central teams, and I do love the good people in Milwaukee. They let my friend Jimmy tear his hamstring in a sausage outfit. But Cincinnati, I think you guys know my heart is open. Cubs fans, I'll be a Cubs opening day. Like Pirates fans, if you, us and Skeens and Pirates fans want it to work. Cardinals, we'll see you next year, I think. The National League East, Trev. I kind of genuinely don't know. There might be something you say right now that pushes me over because there are dogs.
I'm going Braves. Okay. I'm going Braves. I picked the under on our TPP because I was like, I have taken so many overs. I need to do something. And it was 93.5. And I said, maybe they win 93 games. I don't know. It was just an exercise in trying to get my unders where they needed to be. I texted you guys right after I said, change that thing to an over. I'm taking the Braves. I just think that they're too good. They are too good. And if they can stay healthy, and Spencer Strider's going to be ready early in the season, Acuna will be back early, they're going to be healthy. They're going to have their guys. And if they can keep them on the field, I think there's just way too much talent. I love the Phillies. I'm a Philly guy. I believe in their team as well, but I'm going Braves, almost like redemption tour. They won 89 games last year, but it didn't feel like a great season for them, and I feel like they're too good for that. So I'm going Braves to take it all.
I'm with you, Trev. I kind of said it with the Orioles. The Braves felt like they had an oh my God bad year in a way. Like Riley and Olsen just never fully clicked, and Ozzy got hurt, and no Ronnie, no Strider. They're a factory. And, the way people talk about Schwellenbach, it feels like he's going to be a guy that we talk about, and I'm going to start saying his name like, Spencer Schwellenbach.
I think you should.
I think so. I think he's on that list. The Braves are a factory. I think in a way we got bored with them, and the division joined, and the Phillies gave the year they wanted. And hey, if all 5, 6 of their guys in the rotation, maybe 7 if Painter, when he's ready, I wouldn't be shocked at all. And the Mets, I want to believe. And hey, they could be the new Brewers. They can make pitching, and they have 3 studs at the top of their lineup that play every day. I love that. But I think the Braves are I think they're at a different level. So I'm going with the Braves, quote unquote, bounce back to win the NL East.
Yeah, people think about Strider and Acuna missing time last year, but it was also Austin Riley missed a big chunk of time. Ozzy Albies missed a bunch of time, and Money Mike as well. They had a bunch of guys out, and they still won 89 games. So I could see them, again, I called for the under, which is stupid. I changed it to the over. I could see them approaching the 100-win mark.
Wild card, Trev, please.
Again, I'm going to go one from each division. I think I have a good feeling about this, actually. Going Phillies. Phillies are going to be there. They're too damn good for all the reasons you just talked about. I mean, the lineup's great. They brought in, I'm telling you, man, Max Kepler's going to be a guy for them. But they have kind of everything going for them. So they're going to be in the playoffs. I will go the Milwaukee Brewers because this is what they do. They win games. They have a team identity. They run prevent, and people don't give their offense enough credit. So they're one of the most balanced teams in baseball. I'll take the Brewers. And then I'm going to go the Arizona Diamondbacks, who I think maybe the most underrated team for a national casual baseball fan. They're very, very good. Go check them out. They're going to be in the playoffs. So I'll go Phillies, I'll go Brewers, and I will go Arizona Diamondbacks for my National League wildcard teams.
Yeah, I know we teased this a little bit, but you have to pick 2 to 3 teams you really like in the NL to not go dancing, which was part of the story last year. It's going to be part of the story this year, and never mind if another Central team fully joins the dance.
Yeah, I mean, for my picks right there, I have the Padres out, I have the Mets out, I have the Giants out, the Reds out.
The Phillies have to make the playoffs. That's too big to fail. So I have them as well.
I like that. Too big to fail. Government bailout.
I like that. Diamondbacks. Again, I think they're almost getting hurt by their team name a little bit. If this team was the Yankees, I think we'd be talking about Yankees World Series, right? It's both sides.
Would you switch teams right now? Would you switch rosters right now?
I've always been a fan of both. So for my last wildcard team, I have to pick between the Padres, the Mets, the Cubs, and the Giants. I'm going Padres. I still think they have the talent. I think Pavetta's going to be really good for them. Their bullpen is gross. Gross. And never mind the stars. I think Tatis elevates to another level. I think Arise had a down year for him, hitting .314 essentially. And we talked about Bogarts. Machado didn't have an elbow to start the season, and Jackson Merrill, I think everyone knows, that they didn't get a lot of work done early, but they closed a lot of their holes. What was that? By the end of the offseason, that I like them. So NL's
it's a beast. There's going to be disappointed franchises out there. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, look, I actually want to see the Padres in the postseason. I think they're electric. I love watching them play baseball. I think Tatis is a sneaky sprinkle up for NL MVP this year. Obviously, that means Shohei would have to miss games, but I do believe in him as well. So you have the Cubbies out. For some reason, I'm feeling like this is like the Cubs are going to get rewarded for this, and maybe they won't, but I think they are. Like they went and they pulled some freaking moves there that I think they're going to get rewarded for, but it's just very difficult to make these predictions right now. When do you think we can actually start to really see like what teams are? Is it June?
I think by June, there's one of these teams. You're just like injury bug. Baseball gets you. Like remember, like the Cardinals were still the Cardinals, and they were just nothing was clicking, and it was like I think at a certain point that's just what your year is. That's going to happen to one or two of these teams, and that's baseball, Susan.
Quick, because we ran a little long here. Give me one team that's like we didn't even talk about that could surprise in a wild card. Like where's that one team? I think it's the Reds. Barely talked about them. Hunter Green turned into an ace last year.
Right.
There's some ingredients there for a wild card run.
And
maybe we just like have been dreaming about that for a long time. I don't know.
Honestly, the team that keeps coming back to me, and I kind of like have to Da Vinci Code, like hit myself with the whip and come back. The San Francisco Giants. I kind of like it, they won dude.
Spring training.
Like, I think Robbie Ray could have, like, a massive year. And it's one of those things, am I living in the past? Is there a Justin Verlander effect that's real? Like, they've got so many young guys that you're like, if they were on another team, I feel like I'd be obsessed with them. Like, why aren't more people into Elliot Ramos? Like, when we talk about best young players, like, it just doesn't pop. Matt Chapman went nuts last year. They signed Adames.
Chap had like a 7 WAR last year.
Yes. All right. Before we give our predictions for the final games of the year, those will be here like this. It's time for DraftKings, people. Whether you're baseball, whether you're hoops fans, it's the time to be on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Get your picks in for the year. Get your picks in this weekend for the underdogs. Whatever you're looking for, DraftKings has it. Lock in your picks with DraftKings. New customers. If you bet $5, you get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you use code Talkin. So whether it's the hoops this weekend, whether it's the baseball, hockey, I don't care. Go on DraftKings. Download the Sportsbook app. New customers use code Talkin. Bet just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's code Talkin only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Coach Trev?
I asked AI for this answer. Do you want to know who they said?
I'd love to.
Okay. I said, AI, Mr. AI, will you give me your playoff predictions with, all the way through the World Series? It ended up with Dodgers over the Orioles and Dodgers winning 4-2. So if that happens, that's knows.
The AI pick.
And we are in a simulation. We're just going straight World Series and winner?
Yeah. Games, matchup.
The Dodgers are going to win the World Series. As boring as that pick is, I mean, I can't go anywhere else with my mind. So I'm taking the Dodgers to win. I want to say 5 games.
Could be, right?
I wish it would go 6. I wish this World Series would go 6, but it's going to go 5 games. They're going to win 4-1. And they're going to beat the Boston Red Sox. Dodgers in 5. I think the Dodgers are going to overwhelm baseball this year. I do.
There's a chance, right? There's a chance there's something really special. Kike
Hernandez, massive World Series.
A team hasn't run it back, and I'm going to believe in that since the 2000 Yanks. The Dodgers have the best chance. I was also suckered into the Braves. I thought they had a factory forming, and I just feel like baseball doesn't work like that. When you short playoff series, expectations, a long season when you do the World Series the year before. I think the Phillies are, like I said, a lot of young 30s. This is Red October. This could be one of the last year with Schwarbs. This could be a couple last for this team. Their rotation is deep and nasty. Same with the pen. I wouldn't be shocked if they make the big move this year. Is that Luis Robert at the deadline? What is it? I think the Philly grime against those Dodgers in a tighter, long series, I think you might hear boos you've never heard before at baseball games. Maybe I'm just fading the fade because I think they're the only ones that would have a shot to really take them down. I will go Phillies in the American League. God, I think the Texas Rangers get back there. I really like them. I really like them. I believe in Bochy. I believe in that org somehow has won us back over after they kicked us out of spring training. That was just you, actually. I'll go Phillies in 6. I think they got to, man. They got to.
Phillies over Rangers in 6.
Yeah.
I just imagine an NLCS Dodgers Phillies. Shohei hits one out of the fucking stadium in Philly. I'm just imagining that.
It could happen.
I don't know if he can. I don't know if you can really do that, but I'm imagining it right now.
There's a guy who could. Let's see. And we're about to see, and it all starts tomorrow. We appreciate everyone so much getting us through the offseason. We also, Chris Rose has a new show, and Michelle Rose is featured in it. And whoa. Respectfully, of course. Chris Rose, he's going to be in the dugout with a bunch of pros throughout the year. Opened with Bobby Witt. Nice little flex by him. And get ready for that. We are streaming tomorrow. We are excited to do that on Jam Baseball. So come watch opening day with us. And, stick with us this year. We say this every year. We're going to be trying some different segments and stuff for the show. We always want to grow and get better. So your guys' feedback is always welcome, especially if you're at this part of the episode. You're the people we want to hear from. What do you want to see this year? We're going to mess with some of the series recaps this year. Another thing we've got this year that you guys already know. And we're going to end on a high note. Our DraftKings Kings of the Week go to a couple kids who made the squad this year. You already heard us talk about Cam Smith. If you haven't seen this, Joe Espada bringing out the family in the middle of the locker room. I mean, kind of a wild, you feel the emotion in the room for a second, and they don't know whether to clap or leave it. A pretty awesome moment.
I think they should have clapped. Clap.
Right? It kind of should have started.
Go. It just takes one guy to do it. I'm a big clap starter guy. I like to start the claps. You got to go.
It happens in a second. But yeah, I think the drama of it is pretty amazing. I mean, let's get the first clap. There we go. Now we're in on the second hug, which I can't imagine that feeling for Cam Smith and everyone in that room. The other one, our guy, your guy, Alex Cora, went the different way with it with Christian Campbell, who was asking him all the players from Georgia Tech that have been big leaguers, and the list now ends with him. So that's pretty.
It's awesome, man.
We still want to believe in team bonding and how much that matters, and I know you'll be the first one to tell people it does matter. I mean, you need talent, but a good clubhouse goes a long way. And two teams we just talked about a lot did something pretty cool to kick off their season.
I believe this is gonna sound so freaking corny because I just said it in my head. I believe in dreams. You gotta kind of try things, get out of your comfort zone a little bit. And man, let me tell you something. When you start playing in pro ball, your dream quickly becomes holy shit, what did I get myself into? This is crazy. These guys are so good. And you doubt yourself a lot. And then the day that you get that call, if you do, there's nothing more satisfying or it's an emotion that I can remember the feeling exactly. It was the weight of the world got lifted off my shoulders. It was pretty cool.
Very cool. Hey, thank you everyone. We love you so much. No Friday yet, but that's last week. Next week we are in it. Wow.
Jake sucks. There's some 60-year-old knuckleballer. He's going up on my Instagram feed. What's up with that?
Sounds like a challenge.
He's a weightlifter, but he's used to play. as an outfielder, I don't know.
Sounds like a challenge.
I'd fucking take Embiid.
Yeah?
Yeah. We should do that. Put me up against this guy right now.
Okay. Whew. Play ball.